Hi, it's Mark again from simplifyinglife.com.au, counsellor and coach in Queensland, Australia. Quick video about a question I had from another client the other day. As you might know from my practice or from experience, I run a practice that's very focused on what I call mindfulness integrated cognitive behavioral therapy. That's a specific technique. It's called MICBT, so mindfulness integrated cognitive behavioral therapy. And the idea about that is that we train our brain to focus on the here and now rather than on unhelpful thoughts, unhelpful feelings. By doing that, we can assist people to change the way they feel and change the way they think, which ultimately will change their life, obviously. Now, the question was from this client, and so when I'm doing my meditation, Mark, when I'm training my brain, retraining my brain in a sense, like sometimes I have a really bad meditation, it doesn't feel right. I sit, get sidetracked constantly. My body hurts. My mind wanders off every 2 seconds. And at the end of it, I feel, I didn't make the full 20 or 30 minutes because after 50 minutes, I just had enough. And I just feel like it was a wasted, meditation because it didn't feel like a good meditation. Now, my answer to that is interesting, because that's the word I use often. But for this video, just let me explain really briefly what the point is about mindfulness meditation or meditation in general. What you're doing with meditation is not creating a result, because then we start to think in terms of results again, and that's not the point of meditation. The meditation is the result itself. It is what it is. And the simplest way for me to explain that, and most people understand it when I explain it that way, is that you are taking your brain to the mental gym. So if you found that in your life, your brain has been trained to think and feel more fearfully than optimistically and effectively and sufficiently. So if it works against you a little bit more than it works for you, which might cause your anxiety, depression, or other mental ill health symptoms, then you want to retrain it. You pretty much want to start training muscles that are more productive, more effective, more working for you, then keep using the muscle that keep working against you, if that makes sense. Now, when you take your brain to the mental gym and start retraining muscles that we actually want to use rather than keep using the muscles that we don't want to use anymore, it's not necessarily about the result. What we're doing with mindfulness meditation is training our brain to focus. Focus, keep focusing. That's what we're doing. We're training our brain to focus. We're training our brain to keep focusing as much as possible, as long as possible, then to bring focus back when it wanders off and to not react to whatever's happening. So reaction is a specific term that I'll explain in other videos, but not to do anything with that if it goes wrong or if it goes bad, because that's not the point. So the three things: focus, refocus when your attention wanders, and don't react, don't respond, just go back to what you were doing. Now, that in itself doesn't yield any results. So you could have a whatever people call bad meditation, perhaps, completely sidetracked every time, 20 minutes instead of 30, you felt bad, your body hurt, etc. If you found yourself being able to focus a little bit, bring your focus back whenever it wanders off, and stop yourself from reacting when your focus wanders or your body hurts, and just get back to what you were doing, which is focusing and bringing your focus back. And actually, in mindfulness integrated CBT terms, you've done a great meditation. You've had a good meditation. And again, the way I explain that to my clients, like, okay, if we are working this bicep here, then lifting the weights, no matter what weight and no matter how many times you lift that weight, you're going to strengthen that mental muscle, or that bicep muscle. And the same goes for your mental muscles. As long as you train them, focusing, bring focus back when it wanders off, stop yourself from reacting, then you are focusing and you are doing a good meditation or a good exercise, a good mental exercise. It's not about the result. I don't care what weight you've got in your hand, how heavy the dumbbell is. I don't care how many sets or reps you're doing, as long as you keep doing them. So it's the actual exercise, it's the actual practice of doing this rather than the result of your practice that we're looking for. The results will come by you doing the practice, if that makes sense. So for this client that says, well, I felt like I've done a bad meditation, that's just another indication for me that she's thinking negatively about things, which is okay, as long as she keeps focusing on bringing focus back when it wanders off, and not reacting to whatever happens in the moment. As you do that, you are making the big difference to your brain. You are training the right parts of your brain, which I'll explain in another video, and you are making a difference to your overall life, because what happens in your brain will reflect on the rest of your life. It goes across context. So I hope that makes a little bit sense, because a lot of people go like, oh, I had such a bad meditation. Oh, I actually had such a good meditation because I feel so good afterwards. It doesn't matter. It's not about feeling good. It's not about feeling bad. It's not about doing a good meditation or a bad meditation. In your own definition, in our definition in mindfulness integrated CBT, or in mindfulness in general terms, a good meditation is one where you are able to focus, where you can bring your focus back when it wanders off, where you can stop yourself from reacting to whatever the moment brings you. If you do that, that's a wonderful meditation in our terms. And we don't care if it felt good, felt bad, or whatever. It's about retraining the brain. And retraining the brain is a non-emotional topic. It's just an exercise. So as long as you keep doing the exercise, the results will come. Hope that makes sense. If not, as always, email me, Marc, M-A-R-C, @simplifyinglife.com.au. Happy to answer questions. If you want to know more about MICBT or my work with MICBT, again, same email. You know where to reach me, Facebook, whatever. And look forward to talking to you.